Welcome on back to Skippers Today. We are just tier listing Major League Baseball teams post trade deadline. We have 4 categories here: World Series, playoff push, outside looking in, and try again 2025. As always, this video is brought to you by FanDuel Canada. If you're betting on baseball in Canada, make it FanDuel Canada. Dinger Tuesday, some of the best markets, and again, you can watch the games in the app. So let's get straight to it, starting with the third wildcard team in the Arizona Diamondbacks. I have the Arizona Diamondbacks in the playoff push tier. Do I believe in them totally? Not so much, but again, they showed last season you just have a chance of getting into the dance, and you can go as far as you play. So the D-backs, the playoff push, they're just not a World Series team to me, but they're putting together a nice 7-3 streak right now, recording here on Friday, plus 45 run differential. So the D-backs go into the playoff push. The Atlanta Braves, a really interesting look as to what has gone on, because the Braves have struggled so mightily compared to what they've done in the past. I still think they're a good team. They could run into the Phillies and beat them, just do the old reverse of when teams face each other. So again, they're still the first wildcard team in the NL. They will be going into the playoff push tier. We move to the AL East tied actually, Baltimore Orioles. I think it's like I want to put them in the playoff push tier. They're just too good to be doing that. You get that offense hot at the right time. Some weird moves they made. I thought they could make a bigger splash than they did at the deadline. I mean, Trevor Rogers put up an absolute stinker for 2 of the better prospects that were moved, but I'm going to put them in the World Series tier because I'm going to put the Yankees right there, and they're kind of the same teams as well, hot and cold, streaky, that you don't really know what to do with them. So the Boston Red Sox are next, and they are going to be on the cusp of outside looking in and the playoff push. They have regressed mightily on the mound. Everyone pretty much, like Houck is the one that's been the best, and everyone else is kind of 4 or 5 ERAs in the past couple months. So do I think that the Boston Red Sox are better than the Kansas City Royals? Yes. Do I think they're better than the Twins? Probably not, to be honest. And it looks like the Orioles and the Yankees, they have them right now tied for a wild card spot. One of them's going to lead the East. One of them's going to win the wild card, obviously. So the Red Sox are right there. Fuck, I don't know if they do it. I'm going to go outside looking in right now. They're part of the playoff push. Playoff push is a bad term because it's like teams that are going to make the playoffs. But I'll put the Boston Red Sox on outside looking in. Next, we move to Wrigley and the Chicago Cubs, 53 and 58 right now, just bottom. You could have a chance in this shitty NL, kind of when you look at the wild card race as well, but you still, what do they got to pass? 5 teams to be the outside looking in still. So I think maybe try again 2025, like the move they make with Isaac Paredes as well. I just think they're going to have to try again in 2025, and that takes us to one of the worst baseball teams ever put together, the 27 and 84 Chicago White Sox. Easy one for me. Try again in 2025. Okay, the Cincinnati Reds, 52 and 56, 5-5 in their last 10. Just kind of mediocre all around. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. It's not the same team as last season. The magic isn't there compared to last season. Frankie Montas moved. I'm going to go on the outside looking in for the Cincinnati Reds. Cleveland Guardians are really just a World Series contender at this point. Even if I think they're not totally legit, their record shows that they are. A really, really good home record, 34 and 15 away, 32 and 27. But if you're going to be the best in the AL, you're not going to have to worry about more away games than home games. So Cleveland Guardians go to World Series contenders. Colorado Rockies, 40 and 70, and it's the easiest try again in 2025. The Detroit Tigers, 52 and 58, minus 17 run differential. Didn't treat Drake Skubal, but the bats just aren't really doing it enough for them. They are an easy try again in 2025. The Houston Astros have put together a great run since the disastrous start to the season, 56 and 52 with a plus 46 run differential, 31 and 24 at home, 25 and 28 on the road. Aren't good against teams over 500, 21 and 29. I think they're part of the playoff push. I don't think they're like a World Series contender. I just think they're kind of less than all the other teams. Like, even as much as I hate the Yankees, I think the Yankees can play better baseball than the Astros this season. They don't do it consistently, but you put the Astros in the playoff push instead. The Kansas City Royals are in the playoff push as well. Third wild card right now. The second wild card. As much as I think they are also fraudulent, the home record's so much better than the road record, 27 and 31 against teams over 500. They are firmly in the playoff push, and I think I think they can do it as much as I didn't think it was going to happen. Los Angeles Angels, it's just try again. I feel like they're going to be there next year as well. Nothing really going well for that team. They are 47-62 and minus 94 run differential. I mean, I just saw they promoted Christian Moore to Double-A after a couple of games in Single-A, and he was their first round pick this season. They're doing hilarious things like the Angels always do. Trout out for the season. Like Logan O'Hoppe is the success story of this season, but there's not much to show for it. Los Angeles Dodgers are going in the World Series. If they don't make it to the World Series, it is an epic collapse. They get Jack Flaherty. They have a ton of people coming back from injuries as well. They're 63-46, and then the Phillies are 65-43. So they're a couple back of being the leader in the NL, the 1 seed, but it's obvious World Series for them. Miami Marlins, one of my winners of the trade deadline, is a try again in 2025, but as much as we wanted to make fun of, what's his name, Peter Bendix, and he's their baseball ops guy. He's done an okay job kind of retooling. It's going to have a lot of the pitchers coming back for next season. Edward Cabrera, Max Meyer are there, but you're going to have Alcantara coming back and some other options as well. I think he did some good moves this deadline. Try again in 2025, but I'm decently high on the Marlins in the probably 2 years from now. They should be good. Milwaukee Brewers, 61-47. Another nice surprise this year. Plus 77 run differential, a greater than 500 record against teams over 500, 31-21 at home, 30-26 on the road. The Milwaukee Brewers are going to put themselves in a little World Series tier here. I think they're a really good baseball team, and the Phillies, they're up and down. They have the more star power, the better pitching, but as we've seen the Brewers in playoff runs past, they do a great job. So I'll put them first in the playoff push outside of the World Series. Next, the Minnesota Twins, a team I think is fantastic and should be good. They are tied. Their last wild card, 59-48 run differential of plus 41. It's half of what the Royals is. But again, they get the Chicago White Sox for a series this weekend. They should have some time to make up some ground. I think this is a good baseball team. Pablo Lopez gets better. They are firmly in the playoff push. The New York Mets are here, a team, again, roller coaster this season. I think they are better than the D-backs. It all depends how that is going to play out for the rest of the season. So them and the D-backs are going to be in the playoff push together because I think those are realistically 4 of the teams that could get in. I don't really trust the Cardinals, Pirates, Giants tier at all. So I'm going to go the Mets in the playoff push. New York Yankees, the Bronx Bombers, Bronx Bums as I'd rather call them, they are in the World Series tier. When they can play at their highest levels, Garrett Cole hasn't even come close to playing well. I think this is a World Series caliber team. I would love for it to blow up in their faces. Juan Soto leaves, but when they are playing their best baseball like they are right now, swinging the bats at an insane level, they are World Series caliber. The Oakland A's are up next. They're a try again in 2025, but boy, have they been a fun team to watch recently. Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker. I think if they're able to hold on to some people, the pitching is okay at least. They're never going to spend at this point until they get to Vegas, most likely, and then they're in Sacramento next season. It's really sad, but they put up some good offensive numbers. They're try again in 2025, but proud of what they have figured out as of late. Phillies are going to go in the World Series tier, another team up and down, but again, top tier pitching when you get it from Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, and even obviously Ranger Suarez. So the Phillies, I'm not going to try and be contrarian here. They're in World Series tier. We go into the tier of a bunch of teams that can be on the outside looking in, and that starts with the Pittsburgh Pirates. A very disappointing deadline. You get Brian De La Cruz and you get Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 2 guys who don't really move the needle on the ceiling of a baseball team. Pitching's very good, but I'm going to put the Pirates on the outside looking in. San Diego Padres find themselves in another playoff push. What an insane deadline from them. They really just don't want to have any prospects, and they were selling low on some of their other ones, like Robbie Snelling. But you get a great bullpen, which you need for a playoff push. So I'm going to put them in that tier. The Giants are selling off. Jorge Soler is gone. Maybe Matt Chapman opts out. Snell opts out as well, and an expensive offseason doesn't turn to anything. I am putting the San Francisco Giants in the outside looking in tier. The Seattle Mariners and the Tampa Bay Rays, I'm going to skip over the Cardinals for right now, are both going in the outside looking in tier. Seattle has wasted some of the best pitching we'd seen in years because they cannot hit. They finally bought some guys. Justin Turner isn't a total needle mover. Randy Rosarena, he's going to figure some things out, bring some juice, but I hadn't seen him hit at home yet, and that's when we know the struggles come for most teams and most hitters. Tampa Bay, the same thing, selling a bunch. Still going to be a fun team with Jeffrey Springs coming back, but next season, they're try again 2025, but I think they're going to be a really good team. I'm going to put the Cardinals in the playoff push, honestly. I thought they were going to be outside looking in, but there's 5 teams for 3 spots. I don't believe in the Pirates, Giants, Reds, or Cubs, obviously, so I'm going to put them in there as well. Not much to say about the Cardinals. I think they're a better team than they've shown past 2 seasons, honestly, but maybe I'm just not paying enough attention. The Rangers are also going to be in my outside looking in, just a little too late for them to make a run at anything. I thought they had a chance. Thought they were going to play some good baseball post All-Star break, and they still might be able to do that, but I just think it's a little too late for the Rangers, even with some of their guys like DeGrom coming back. We finish it off with my ball club, the Toronto Blue Jays. Try again in 2025. They sold the most players ever at the deadline, and going back with them is going to be the Washington Nationals at 49 and 60. So there we go. The tiers, World Series tier, have the Orioles, Guards, Dodgers, Yankees, and Phillies, and then you guys can see the rest of the tiers here. Let me know what you think. I mean, obviously, if I didn't put your team in a tier that you thought, you're not going to be too happy with me here, but these are the tiers. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you to FanDuel Canada, and we will see you guys next time.